The Falls Count Everywhere podcast would like to mention our friends at the following. For the most intriguing wrestling stories and info on independent shows in multiple regions, nobody does it like We Talk Wrestling. Subscribe to Facebook's #1 interactive community for professional wrestling today. Pro wrestling on Tuesdays are a blast with the Wrestle Talk podcast. Join the entire crew every Tuesday at 7 p.m. as they bring their takes on the major circuits, showcase interviews with various indie stars, and news on the #1 fantasy wrestling promotion, the FWWC. Visit them at facebook.com/WrestleTalkPodcast and at WrestleTalkCast on YouTube and X.
All of us here show appreciation and love to our first responders, military, and volunteers that help our nation as well as protect and serve us every day. Thank you for all you do.
Get ready for episode number 191 of the Falls Count Everywhere podcast as we welcome the violent giant swinging any object he can get his hands on to strike down his opposition and the current AIWF Deathmatch Champion. All business, Dean Mercer.
Welcome to the Falls Count Everywhere podcast. The show starts in
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go!
And good evening, everybody. It is yet another Sunday night, and we're going to get this wrestling party started. As
I can't
always,
find the button.
And tonight is episode number 191 of the Falls Count Everywhere podcast here, and we are live as always the week after Mania. Of course, things going crazy here, as always, as far as trying to get everything in line, because I'm telling you what, though, we will kind of maybe talk about the week that was after Mania, but I'll tell you what, I've been kind of dragging myself. I'm still trying to get booted up, trying to get some energy throughout this week, and I'm still trying to catch myself up. But I am Rough Cut Rick Ruby, as always, here. To the left of your screen, to the right, of course, is the Gem Seat of Mouse Zmiz, doing a little administrative secretarial duties of sharing our show like everybody else should that's watching us. So yeah,
I spelled deathmatch wrong. sorry, dude.
All right, now's the time to stop binge watching matches so we can do the show.
I'm trying to share the show, but I spelled deathmatch wrong because we have the AIWF Deathmatch Champion here with us tonight. Going to be coming on later, so I was just trying to share it out correctly, right? Give the man some respect.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got it shared into my personal page. Of course, like you said, it's going to be all business. Dean Mercer joining us here shortly. And, of course, the current AIWF Deathmatch Champion. And we're going to be talking a little bit, getting into the world of Extreme. There we go. That's Austin Cage kind of chiming in.
What's up, buddy?
I'm a little bit jealous because we'll talk about him maybe possibly in a little bit, but he had a little
you know what? No, screw Austin Cage, the dirty heel.
Screw
come on. Everything. I love that he got the opportunity. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'll be nice because I'm a nice guy, unlike that dirty dude. But he had such an enjoyment time yesterday meeting some of the great legends of the past. That piece of crap. That's all right. That leads us into something that we can talk about because we're all going to be there ready to go for actual legends at FanFest 3 SICW. Speak about that there, Ruby.
That's right. That's us right there. Of course, yeah. SACW FanFest 3. And I was actually talking with the one and only Mr. Herb Simmons, of course, the legendary promoter around the Midwest here for I think he celebrated, was it 52 years this past February, I believe?
I don't know. I just want him to be my Yoda. That's it. Teach me the ways.
So 52 years, of course, around the great era of wrestling at the Chase, and we're doing this here because we want to keep the dream and the spirit of old school professional wrestling around, especially when it comes to with professional wrestling being basically marqueed out of St. Louis for quite a long time, in the NWA days, and we're just trying to make sure that let people know, hey, this is where really all the good stuff is right here in St. Louis. And of course, it's a dream for me because it's gonna be nice to see all these legends come in. We're getting some new legends in from the past 2 times that we've been in here, but it's less than 10 minutes from my house. So you can't you can't take a better booking than that.
I can't wait. I physically can't wait. I am pumped. I'm excited. I am stoked.
Yeah.
Me and the bro are going to hit down together. It's going to happen. I'm going to have a sit down with the bro at some point to do other bro things and hopefully become one of those stallions that he always talks about. We have the great Homicidal. Speaking of hardcore guys, speaking of deathmatch guys, speaking of the guys that solidified himself making other people hurt just a little bit more, but the Homicidal one himself, Sabu, is going to be in the house, along with Shane Douglas. So there's going to be some violence there, too, besides what's going to happen in the matches for that evening after the great festivities. But, dude, the legends that keep getting piled up, Boogeyman, Kerry Von Erichs,
Kevin Von Erich.
Yeah, Kevin Von Erichs. My bad. My bad, Kevin. I apologize. Dude, the legends are stacked. So FanFest 3 is going to be a sick one to be at.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we're not mad, man. I'm just I'm kind of thrilled that you got that, and I imagine that it's the Square Circle Expo that's actually out in Indianapolis, and I think before this show decides to hang it up, whenever that is, we need to get down. We got to
go.
Indy,
yeah, we got to go.
For certain, and we need to do a weekend. Apparently, he told me that the line was incredibly long for Joe Hendry. Gee, I wonder why.
But he's a loser, they say. Why did they waste a spot for Joe Hendry wrestle? Because he's amazing and he's fun. That's why. If
you guys don't understand it, he was actually on Busted Open Radio this past week, and let me just say that Bubba is he's going to be he's actually even a bigger fan of Joe Hendry now with talking with him. Was it David LaGreca?
Dave LaGreca.
David LaGreca, thank you. I said LaGreca. That's like a chick name.
One of my personal favorite podcasters out there. Talk about going from a fan and then being submerged into wrestling with. He has no offense, Ruby. I love you, and I love that you're my mentor in professional wrestling.
I can't be number one all the time. So
you are my mentor in professional wrestling, but dude, he has Mark Henry, Tommy Dreamer, and Bubba Ray Dudley, bro. I would love to sit with. With Austin Cage's adventures this weekend. Yeah, I'm not actually mad that he met wrestlers. I'm mad that he met one person in particular, 3 letters, and arguably the greatest broadcaster going right now for wrestling conversations, and that he got to meet CVV, man. That one got me because I want to talk to that man. He's
out on the take, and he's basically he's the best one on the inside too.
Oh yeah,
big
he's
WWE
the dude.
Stars. So
he's the dude right now for podcasters. But no, FanFest 3 is going to be great. There's going to be other great podcasters. There's Teddy Long and Mac Davis are going to be there joining us, and we are ready to sit down. We have put the Dukes up. We're ready to have a conversation with Teddy and Mac. Possibly a game. Who knows? We could figure something out. But Dude, FanFest 3 is going to be off. And the matches set up for that.
Yeah, so the match is set up for that. Let's talk about this. So, yeah, this is just announced. I wish I could have. Hopefully, you guys will be able to see this a little bit more. Maybe I can kind of zoom this in a little bit more for these people. Maybe. Let's do this. And
Ooh,
I'll
good.
adjust. I'll adjust. This is what people will say. I'll adjust. But, yeah, so 4 matches that are announced. There may be more. I don't know. Like I said, it's,
There's
going to be hit and
5
miss
right
to
now.
see what else is going to put in there. Of course, the big main event. The Bruiser Brody, Larry Madison, Tony Costa Memorial Battle Royal. Of course, the widow of Bruiser Brody, Barbara Goodish, will be there to present the cup to the winner of the Memorial Battle Royal. And some of the matches here announced here is the 6'5" Spawn Khan. That's Lilith Khan. Lilith Khan will be taking on Ms. Hyde. Of course, Ms. Hyde is a regular. She's a graduate of Jacob Pritchard's Wrestling Academy and a regular with American Championship Wrestling. Those two did not have a really conclusive battle as far as like a finish. Maybe there might be a finish here at this. Like I said, there are more matches here. Attila Khan, her dad,
back in action too
against the Golden Boy Greg Anthony, the former AIWF World Champion. I believe he is still former.
Yes,
on the World Champion. With Greg Anthony. So, but what a battle that's going to be. And then of course we'll feature the newly crowned SICW Classic Champion Bobby D within the last month, taking on Superstar Steve Fender. He'll be defending that title.
I'm kind of torn on that one. Two of my favorite SICW guys going head to head with each other.
Me and Bobby D have shared the ring quite a bit in the few years I've been in SICW. I mean, my respect to Bobby D because the man pulls so many maneuvers out of a hat. He can beat you with just about anything that you don't see coming, and he's got an arsenal. He's almost like the modern day Dean Malenko, but a little bit tougher, if you know what I mean.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
that's big shoes to fill. I respect that. I respect that statement.
That is big shoes to fill, but
I respect that statement. But you have Steve Fender, one of Harley's props over there.
Steve, yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude, you got a mean son of a gun, and he's held titles around everywhere to be. So this is going to be one of those matches to watch right here.
Former AIWF National Champion.
Yep.
Steve Fender. So keep that in mind. And then
Steve's
let's talk about. There's been a little bit buzz going on between Big Nasty Glenn Williams and Sean Vincent, and apparently Big Nasty will be putting the SICW Central States title on the line against Sean Vincent. And I'll tell you what, though, I understand. I mean, you and I may have a little disagreement about this, but I gotta respect Sean on the veteran standpoint. Sean Vincent's been around, and he doesn't really live off of Big Nasty's. I guess off of his career and his winnings, and everything else. Big Nasty's only been around about a few years. Sean Vincent's got a legacy. He's a former SICW ambassador. He's got a lot going on, and the Big Nasty, I think, is just getting a little bit more arrogant for his worth.
I mean, you could say he's getting arrogant, but I know for a fact from father to father here. My mentor would never leave me to the side in the wolves of SICW. He would always be at my side to have my back. And that's what Big Nasty's been saying. Sean Vincent wanted to ride the coattails, wanted to help his mentor, his protege out, basically, and his pupil. But then it became more about riding the coattails. He got hurt at an event and cried about his ankle and all that kind of thing. He had this great recovery and did all this great stuff, but he wasn't really there for Big Nasty during it. Like, that's your pupil, man. Don't leave your pupil on the sidelines. You wouldn't leave your kids on the sidelines. Why would you leave your pupil? That's kind of like your kid now. And Big Nasty, he's been doing so much more work without Sean Vincent. So for Sean Vincent to come back and try to be like, oh, congratulations. Dude, really? Come on, bro. That was too much. That was too... And for the fact, just like Big Nasty said on his live, and I'm going to reiterate it right now. Big Nasty said it the other night on his live. Sean swung first. So really, who's the bad guy? Remember, Sean Vincent turned his back on SICW and lost that ambassador role. Sean Vincent turned his back on the fans a long time ago. Big Nasty said exactly who he is from day one coming out of Ace Academy.
Oh, yeah.
Who really is the bad guy? You do the math.
Well,
that's all I'm saying. I get the veteran thing.
You can't blame Sean for trying to be a stand-up guy, though. I mean, that's all I'm saying, though.
Father the Father, I understand that one. I do.
Why? What's up, buddy? Glad to see you here. I don't know. Did you see Skylar? Skylar is.
Oh yeah, he already said let's go next year. I posted it up there. Didn't get your attention.
We got to make that happen somehow. Right?
I'm in.
Let's see if I can get this show because because we actually got appearances this week, this weekend. Well, at least IEW with World Egos.
Egos collide at IEW. I mean that place is always been egos. But
if you're in Illinois, there's a lot of egos that collide. So.
Oh, in Illinois, there's tons. But 5-Star puts his title on the line against Dion, his former tag team partner. I can't remember what the other card said, but I do know that's the main event. Dude, Dion and 5-Star are going to put on one show. These two know each other better than any other partner duo, because I mean they're tag team partners in other places. They were tag team partners in IEW. It exploded. It broke apart. Dion went his way. 5-Star went his way. 5-Star made it to the championship. Dion's coming for that title. He's like, hey, remember we were part of an ego group, bro. So egos are colliding. We'll see what else happens. We'll see what that goof Corey does with his Midwest title. The O'Neal brothers are defending their tag team championships. Who knows what Mr. Poole's about to do? He's been so locked in horns with what's going on and how to fix the situation for class action that things need to change. We need to first dethrone Corey Andrews. That's all I'm saying. Banks needs to get his stuff back.
Yeah. Yeah, well, like you said, it's going to be definitely a show back once again in Granite City. And like I said, go make sure you visit Illinois Elite Wrestling on Facebook or search for them on Ticket Leap if you do want to get tickets in advance.
Yep.
Ticket Leap. So, but that's for you. Hopefully you get a chance to make the show. This is definitely for me. This coming Saturday, May 3rd, in Cedar Hill, Missouri, where American Championship Wrestling will return to the VFW. And for those who are big, who kind of follow me, and you know how I've come out with maybe because I've off and on have been coming out. Now more lately, I'm bringing back the neon, the glow now with the glasses, and I've got first off, I got a surprise this weekend for everybody. For one, number two, I want to let everybody know because people have asked me for years when I've come out with the shades. Hey, man, I wish you had those for sale. But guess what? I've got some in stock now. You can get entrance shades just like Rough Cut Rick Ruby. Yes. So they will be on sale.
Look at you become a nice guy and then buy shades for everybody to buy. Look at that. Look at me. What a nice guy. I like
you. Can be great like me. So not modest at all. So acwtheshow.com to visit to get tickets. Of course, you can scan that QR code. That will take you right to where you can get tickets online. There are front row seats still available, I do believe. Of course, those are $10. General admission is $6. And once again, doors open at 5, bell times at 6. Basically, and it's also the same time for you at IEW.
A lot of letters.
It's almost said the evil words.
I'm usually the one slipping up on the tongue, but you were tonight. Yeah, look at that.
I've had a long day and a short thing. So there you go. There you go, Larry.
ACW does deserve a chance. ACW.
So it's gonna be definitely gonna be a good show. Me and Bubba Walsh are working our way to kind of persuading the Searcher to maybe letting us take a shot at the tag team championship with Eagle Trip. So I'm hoping I can get through to him on that. Wouldn't that be cool, man?
Searcher, we need more gold at Falls Count Everywhere. So that would look really good on one of those racks of fandom having some actual gold for Ruby to show off some hardware. So let it happen. And didn't you guys get DQ'd or something last time? Not you guys, but wasn't there shenanigans last time you had a chance to fight the titles?
Yeah. Well, let's see. I don't think we've had a tag team title match. Well, I mean, that was the tournament. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Is a tournament. You got shenaniganed out of it.
That
correct?
was my ego trip. Yeah. That's
just
when
saying. Just saying. I'm pointing that out.
I pulled a big time Steve Macklin where I didn't hit anything when I went for a diving spear in the corner, and I just went whoop, right to the outside. And boy, I'll tell you that tile floor, man, at my age, no, I hardly don't recommend that.
That's why you got to stay on your feet in the ring, bro.
Yeah, I got to. Yeah,
you have a habit of going over the ropes or at least through them.
Well, I mean, you would think a guy like me would be smart to stay, on my feet on the outside. And when I go to the outside, I don't just, do a ugly Hardy and just dive out there and, or AJ Francis, but I would be more like AJ. Okay, I will say I would be more like AJ.
You would so be banned from diving.
I would be banned from all diving. Even from taking a dive.
Joe Henry would be like, you shouldn't even let the ground.
Stay on your feet, son. I'm tired. Man, but no, that's for this weekend. And when we come back next weekend, we'll kind of we'll give you a little bit of insight of what's happened here, and hopefully, like I said, we'll let you know how things are going. So, definitely looking forward to this coming Saturday. So we go from, no pun intended, one extreme to another as we're bringing in our featured guest here this evening. He's been in the business here for about a few years and has actually gotten involved, associated with the AIWF to the point where he is now the AIWF Deathmatch Champion, and he's been like that for about a few months or so. We're trying to get him on the show, and we finally found a point here tonight. So here we go. With no further ado, everybody, let's please welcome our featured guest of the evening, the one and only all business Dean Mercer. Everybody, there you go. Thank you.
You gotta.
Where is he? There he is. Okay.
There we go. There he is. Thank you.
Now, Dean, thanks very much for hanging in here with us here. And how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Gotta say, I like the color of that gaming chair that you're sitting in.
Yeah, it kind of fits your colors.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I like the gaming chair. Yes.
Little match right there. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Hey, you see how I kind of snuck in his little artwork there on his
I dig it.
Name.
Yeah,
so there you go.
Wink, Austin Cage.
Yeah, Austin, get on the ball.
You're actually
how many times have I reminded you about a damn logo? Hey, no, I'm here trying to get autographs. Autographs and pictures. I know. But no, man, I thank you very much for joining us here, and we're going to get into to your world on your side of the Mecca, but how? First off, just the kind of a casual question here is how did you get associated with the AIWF? Because sometimes you either get well, first off, where are you located at? Like, where do you live? Like, what region do you live in?
Sure. I'm stationed out of Denver, Colorado. So my home promotion, Primo's Premier Pro Wrestling, is a part of the AIWF. So it was just a natural fit. Yeah.
Yeah, and see, when I tell these people what's the IWF? I'm like, bro, you need to get on the ball.
Yeah,
it's wake up and smell something to get those senses going, because the AIWF is literally worldwide,
all over the place.
Yeah, territorial worldwide. I mean, you won't have to, but it's. Yeah, and hopefully, like I said, we, Mad Classic has been referring us to a lot of great guys to come on and kind of talk about.
And gals.
Yeah, and gals, yes. Yes, we can't forget about Ava Brooks last month.
Yeah, don't forget about our ladies out there.
Yeah, well, she is one Spitfire, I'll tell you that.
she had more F-bombs
I know
than our Austin Cage did.
I was like, you make your parents cringe with that mouth? I mean, my God.
She was my hero. I loved it.
Oh, shoot. So, no, that's awesome that you're out of Colorado. So on the mountain time frame, I was afraid that I keep forgetting where he's at. And
but he's still good. He has light over there.
It just got dark, literally as you said it.
Don't even try to say it.
Now here's another question. When you talk about light, is it from the sun or is it from the snow caps that won't melt?
Luckily it's been kind of warm. Those snow caps, they go and melt. They can do whatever they want. I live in the flatland.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm hearing that, when we had some storms that came in through here about a couple of weeks ago, and all the cold fronts that come from over there, we're like, oh, yeah, well, Colorado and Denver's getting snow. And I'm like, oh, good God, in April?
Yeah, over Mania weekend. I was actually in Vegas when I got the message that it snowed locally, so that's kind of wild.
I know, man. Shoot, yeah. So,
and see, I'm over here being that weird guy that just really likes the cold weather, so I'm all about it.
Okay,
all about it.
Not in April. Okay?
Yeah, here, bro.
No, thank you.
It's been like 55 up here in Quincy, Illinois, for the last couple of days, and it feels great. It's short.
I'm 300 pounds, and I hate the cold. I cannot stand it one bit.
You're doing it wrong, man. my thing is this: there's only so much clothes I can take off before it's illegal, and that's why I don't like the summer.
I hear that way too often.
Oh my gosh, bro.
So getting down to the nitty gritty on this adventures, being from the Colorado area. In high school and stuff, in grade school, you talked about in your bio that you did a lot of football and athletic stuff. Then you went into the work field and you did some landscaping and kind of left the athletics behind. Then all of a sudden, about 4 or 5 years ago, you're like, I think I'm going to become a professional wrestler.
Yeah,
how that went through the process, unlocking those keys, and how has your athleticism from the high school days prepared you for the rigorous training that is professional wrestling?
Yeah, so most people wouldn't wait until they're 32 to pick up this professional wrestling gimmick. Like I said, I've been an athlete basically my whole life. So regardless of the fact that I had stepped away from athletics for an extended period, 10 years,
nobody's keeping track.
Yeah, right. Let's not do that. When I did return to the world of athletics or being athletic, it was kind of an easy transition. However, on my second wrestling training session ever, I ended up hurting myself rather bad. I ended up straining all of my lower abdominal muscles and getting something called rhabdomyolysis, and hospitalized me for a week. And from what I've been told, the doctors told me it's kind of a deadly thing. And people who go from 0 workout to 100 workout usually get that. So that's what I went through. But nothing deterred me. I had my mission set, and here I am, living the dream right now.
So, did you have like connections to get into it, or like how? Because that's what I'm saying. You went from landscaping, bro. You went from putting bricks down to going, you know what? I'm gonna beat that guy up instead.
Yeah, actually, so the guy who's training me, Joe McDougal, out of the butcher shop in Denver, he's we were sort of loosely affiliated. I had gone to shows at Primo's before I had become a wrestler. So he's posting on his personal page, to come down to train. I'd committed to come and train a couple of times and flaked on him, and then it was one day. I can't even say what day it really was. I just was tired of being kind of a lazy bum, and I made good on my word to him, and the rest is history, man. He's he's been a light in the darkness for me when I really needed it. So he's really helped me turn my life around for the better, for sure.
Yeah, I looked into a little of that brick shop or the butcher shop like that. Some of those regiments that he put you guys through, because I was on his Instagram scrolling. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He's definitely put us through it. He's making sure that we're ready. That's what the deal is. He wants to make sure that we're ready for this crazy world of professional wrestling.
Right on, dude. Right on.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I mean, I know about the whole training as far as when I was going through with my school sessions, and it was I'll tell you, it was fun times for me. But I didn't really have much of a break because I've been pretty much athletic pretty much my entire life, or at least I've been involved since I was younger. Went all the way through school, um, and even did like some basketball. Yeah. So you can imagine me running up and down the basketball court, Z, back in my day. Well, because
I mean, if Big Show can do it, you can too.
but I wasn't
Big man hooping.
I wasn't quite a Big Show back then, so if you get my drift. So uh
He wasn't so fluffy.
yeah. Like I said, I've done crazy stuff all throughout my entire life, and like I said, to me, it's just come second nature, and to me, that school was fun because because I was in football, I was in tennis, I was in
Yeah.
a lot, basketball, so I was involved in a bunch of constantly moving,
Yeah.
sports,
Don't get me wrong, that landscape profession has really helped. That they don't
Oh
really allow you to
yeah,
be lazy. It's
no, no.
in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, it kept me preserved to be ready. I guess just in a way. I actually did try. I don't know, 2 years out of high school, I tried to go semi-pro for football, and quickly realized at that point I was like, we're not going to do this. This guy across from me, he's going to be in Canton or whatever. We're gonna have to dial back what I'm committing myself to. At that point, I was really worried about hurting myself for the long term, but I realized I really should have tried harder at that point because I really regret at least not trying pro wrestling at that point.
Oh yeah. Well, so I guess before I get into my next question here, I usually kind of pander to, when were you exposed to wrestling before you even thought about it? Like when did you even see your like you remember about what age you saw wrestling, like your first wrestling match or like a wrestling
Oh man,
show? I mean, were
yeah,
you
I
young?
yeah, super young man. I've been a fan of professional wrestling ever since I was 4 or 5 years old. I remember having the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan
Oh,
buddy
okay.
deals. I remember having those, and I used to be the hugest fan of the Ultimate Warrior, running around, shaking the ropes and all of that. Being crazy little kid like that, loved it all. I've loved it all. And then there was a span of time where I was no longer allowed professional wrestling because I'm doing backbreakers on my neighbors, and you can't be doing that when you're twice the size of your neighbors.
Dude, I lost wrestling for 3 months because I choke slammed one of my neighbors on the trampoline and he flipped off of it. And my parents were so pissed.
Yeah, you can't do
What are you
that.
doing?
Yeah,
Well, I
they
mean,
took all my figures, everything.
well,
They
if
did.
you land, if you're jumping up high, you're landing the bump right. Yeah, he said flush. We're just going right back up out of the damn air.
So that's exactly what happened. Is I kind of, how Kane used to do the choke slam and he would jump and then
Yeah.
land. So I did that. When I went and landed with the knees, I let go so we didn't hurt each other, but it was a perfect amount of bounce left that it shot him backwards like this. So we land flat and he went like that off the trampoline. And his mom just happened to be looking out the window. We would have got away with it too, dang it. If it wasn't for those meddly kids.
You know what I've just pictured though, because one things I like to do. You remember like the rubber super balls? that were
Mhm.
like super bouncy, and you just wanted to spike it on the ground and see how high it went. That's what I'm picturing. Zmiz's choke slam going way up in the air.
Kind of probably the way it went.
Tough luck, brother.
Oh my god, shoot. Oh, Z. Wow. Yeah, I never got a chance to bounce anybody off the trampoline, but I planted some people in the ground, so
I mean,
oh shoot. So we kind of know about your background, like coming from the butcher shop with the training and everything else. So I guess how long were you able to train before you got your first official match, and kind of tell us about the first booking that you had to do a match, and what were some of the key things that took away and stuck with you even to this day, coming out of your first match.
So I actually trained maybe close to a full year before they let me in a ring. Which it probably was for the better. I kept thinking the whole time, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. I get in that ring, I was not ready. I
Oh
don't think
man.
that anybody, yeah, I don't think anybody is fully ready until you actually do it. So I was in there. My first match was actually against my home promotion's current champion, Mondo Romero. And it was a great experience. I fell in love right away. I knew immediately I could do this. For better or for worse, I can't remember how the match really went, but I really fell in love with the process, and I quickly, I quickly gained the trust of the people in the locker room because my very next show, I was booked with another green guy, and I was the one in charge of putting our entire match together. So to say that was a clusterfuck was an understatement. However, however, quite the learning experience, and I would never take it back for anything.
Oh man. See, that's the thing though, and you got to know who you're paired with. Um, I mean, but putting two new guys together, especially for the first, I mean, I don't know, for like a
Yeah,
show. I mean, me as with my promoting experience, no offense to you, but I want to put you with somebody that's known the ropes for at least several years and
yeah,
has actually got some guidance as because as if I can kind of just crack the wall for a little bit here and then I'll put it back. Um,
yeah,
as far as who gets the label of general in that match? You know what I'm saying? As like
yeah.
yeah,
To be,
because I mean, because if there's like different swing momentum, as far as you're wanting to do something and they're wanting to do something, and then it's like if if you guys can't agree on anything, you know, because you gotta have somebody has to be in there elder that knows what they're doing to trump over what basically as far as with guidance. If
you're not wrong. You're not
yeah,
wrong there. To be fair, it wasn't like one of the main shows. It was one of these shows we warm new guys up to and whatnot. But you're totally right. I can't remember exactly who it was we were working for that did this, but I honestly feel like it was an out of the frying pan to the fire situation. They were putting me to the test. I feel like is what it really was.
yeah. So, like I said, I don't think my first match could have worked out any better because it was actually a six-man tag. I was working on one side as a heel. There was somebody else on the other side that was a face. That was a rookie, and then we had two veterans on each side.
Yeah.
So,
Beautiful.
yeah, that worked out great. And I'll tell you what, I remember, because I had about maybe 5 months of training, but I was doing like 3, sometimes 4 days a week, getting in there and doing at least like maybe 2 or 3 hours a day.
Right.
And I mean, I don't want to bore everybody as far as because I've said many times what I've done to train myself for bumps in the backyard. And I go right in there and I'm just flying through everything like, oh man, I think you're ready to go now. Like, okay, if you guys think so. And then so you get that adrenaline rush, and man, it's just that the adrenaline rush that you get for your first match. If there's nothing that could top that. I mean, it's in its own category. and I'm thinking to myself, God, this ain't my friends in the backyard anymore. Damn,
Right.
this
Right.
is
Right.
there's
Right.
people
Right.
out there. They're gonna look at me. They're gonna see me like, what are they gonna think? Especially how am I gonna get them mad? Without cursing at them.
Right. Yeah, you can't use the foul language. You got to do other things. You got to
Yeah,
flinch at the little kid. All that stuff. It's
yeah.
yeah.
No, yeah. So I mean, it's quite an adrenaline rush. Of course, I was the benevolent rookie that match and got my ass handed to me about 2 or 3 times over. But it's okay. It's
Learning lessons, baby.
oh yeah.
Nothing's changed in the 29 years either.
I'm
I'm
not
joking.
that damn benevolent anymore, bro. Year number 30 is gonna be different, I tell you.
Hey, I've only had one match and been in the business now 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah, somebody should have threw you over that top rope in that battle royal.
Hey, I was smart. See, I get paid to run my mouth. I don't get paid to wrestle. My ass ain't cashing no checks from a ring guy. I sit behind a booth. That's what I get to do. And for
Are you
them
going to do this much longer?
for them to throw me in there was a travesty, and I had to get out one way or another, and I did just that.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost SYP, blank pants.
I did poop my pants. I fed Chris Exodus to the rest of them.
Wow. Yes.
All right. So you are the AIWF Deathmatch Champion.
Yes,
And
sir.
we all know the promotion that has made hardcore wrestling famous, which was ECW. I mean, there's others. New Japan did some great death matches. AAA's done some amazing death matches. And then there's these two promotions in the 90s that decided to have hardcore divisions of themselves. And the question I'm going to ask you is, you have WWF on one side, the hardcore division that we all kind of fell in love with in the 90s. And then you have WCW. And their special form of of hardcore wrestling. Give us an experience on how you got into, for one, hardcore wrestling and deathmatch style. But which one of these promotions would you have said was the worst hardcore division?
Oh, boy. So, let's be fair. Growing up, the wrestling I was exposed to was only the WWF. So I loved that hardcore division. So that was my favorite stuff back in the day, right? Now, me personally, as far as how I got exposed to the deathmatch wrestling, I started at Primo's Premier Pro Wrestling, where we hold Slave to the Deathmatch tournament every year.
Ooh.
And oh, baby, I think we celebrated 15 or 17 last year. I can't remember exactly. And, Joe's going to hate me for it, but it was 15 last year is what it was. I looked at my medal right there. It was 15. So, um, basically, last year at Slave to the Deathmatch was an experience I won't soon forget. I got to square up against Necro Butcher. Was involved with him in segments for all 3 days of the tournament, and
You got to fight Necro Butcher?
Oh, baby, I did. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's say he threw a shopping cart at me and he stabbed me in the forehead with the pencil about 50 times. And the old man is tough as bricks. He's been one of the toughest individuals I've ever met.
I like to see how that dude walks on a daily basis. I mean, to be honest.
Listen to this. I've seen him backstage duct taping his knee brace to him, give himself more support. Tough as nails, man. I'm telling you. One of the coolest guys I've met out there. And, just a wealth of knowledge. And I'm glad that I was able to learn from him.
So for me, I'm not going to lie to you, okay? I'm an honest man. Death matches aren't really my thing, okay? I like a good hardcore match. But I will tell you this, over the last couple of years, with certain influences of certain other companies, AEW being one of them. I went back and watched several New Japan ones that were like, okay, this is cool. It's one of the reasons I do like Jon Moxley is him, and I think I want to say it was like Brian something, where he took a sawzall to the forehead. Still blows my mind that happened. It was in CCW. And okay, so I kind of have like this love-hate-ish relationship with it, like, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm a fan of the WCW East Hardcore division. I think that campy, humorous fun was fun for it.
Sure.
Also, like Ernest Miller. Some of those guys don't get the respect they do deserve for some of the shots they took in that world of like this PG hardcore.
Yeah.
But then you flip the other side of the coin, and Hangman and Swerve Strickland served us some of the like. Dude, that match was stunning. So like, I have a new appreciation for your world and your genre of wrestling. Give us one of those matches real quick that stood out to you during that hardcore division of WWF, since that is your preferred, that really made and influenced you today on that.
Oh boy, I really couldn't name one match, but I do what I did enjoy a lot about it is how it was like the 24/7 kind of rules,
Yes.
how it could be defended at any moment. It was just the unpredictability of it that I really enjoyed. It could be during one match, and then all of a sudden, 12 guys come running out, some crazy clusterfuck, or it could be, someone got beat up in the parking lot, and there goes that title reign, So the unpredictability of it is what I really enjoyed.
I could agree greatly, because this is one of the things that about deathmatch, because I want to highlight you right now with it, okay? Because you guys, deathmatch guys, get the raw end of the stick sometimes, right? And my thing is that, like, if we're going to sit here as wrestling fans and wrestling critics and guys in the business, as we all are, and we praise certain matches like JBL Eddie Guerrero Bull Rope match, and that the buckets that were spilled in that, the bloodshed that was spilled in that. If we're going to sit here and praise Shawn Michaels, what was that one? Oh, God dang
it. Was a Shawn Michaels Triple H
match. Slam. Thank you. That's where I was going with it. Yes, thank you. Yeah. You read my mind. So there's these certain matches that we praise this violence in, but then deathmatch is just like, I do agree. Glass, I don't know why you guys are idiots for doing glass. No offense. No offense. Like, that's the one I don't know about, guy. But like, if we're gonna sit there and praise that, we got to look at deathmatch in a different light. And I want to say right now, Falls Count Everywhere, and this has no reflection of Ruby, this is just all Zmiz here. I think Swerve Strickland and Adam Page definitely are going to be some of those guys that help the turning light of the division, if that makes sense. Because they showed us this whole storyline base in it. Most people think, because you get the social media clickbait kind of stuff, that it's just pure violence. There ain't no storyline to it. How do you feel you're going to bring value to the AIWF Deathmatch division with stuff like that? Are you going to be able to incorporate this? Because you guys have passion beyond crazy amount.
Storytelling.
Let's say that too. But how can you develop the moments within your matches to promote that title higher than it already is? I know I'm going way off key, Ruby. I apologize.
You're good, bro.
Go ahead.
It's all about storytelling. Really, is all it is. Whether it's a single match that you're gonna try to tell your best story in, or if it's something you build up over 2-3 months, 2-3 days, whatever it is, you got to tell a good story. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. If you keep it simple, the fans and everybody involved are going to know what's going on. All right. I'll use this example again. It's because I have limited experience personally, because I've only been 4 years in the industry. However, when I worked with Necro Butcher at Slave to the Deathmatch this past year, the whole match started off with us attacking him on day one.
Mm-hmm.
Day two, we did it again, and day 3 was the match. So these things like that, they really feed into the match. You telling a concise story, telling having hitting your points, your beginning, your middle, and end. It's just like I said, keeping it simple for the fan. It really draws everybody in, and it makes it easy to digest. Violence or no violence, it could be a match of holds, or it could be a match of light tubes. It doesn't matter as long as you're telling a good story. Everybody's going to be involved and understand what you're doing.
Okay. Because you have the. I've watched some of your matches, dude. You have. There's reason you're all business. I do understand that.
I take pride in this. I take pride in this, baby.
Wow. So when we were looking over the information that you were kind of, because we asked to kind of give us some information about your thoughts, and, everything that that you've, as far as regarding the industry. One of the goals that you had told us is that you're willing to take your mind and body as far as you want to go in this industry. So,
Yes.
So when I read that, I'm like, well, what does he mean? No. So what I was so kind of give us some maybe if you can kind of summarize maybe some short-term, long-term goals that maybe you want that you have in mind that you want to achieve, and have you set your, and if so, is there any type of is that like some sort of like a bucket list or something that maybe you have a timeline on personally to achieve those in?
Basically, what I meant by I want to go as far as my mind and body will take me. It's all said back to my age. Like we already discussed earlier, that I started this late in the game, right? So
Yeah.
I want to do as much as I can in as condensed amount of time as I can. So that includes traveling wherever I can, working for whoever will have me. I basically, my rule is I will not say no. As long as you're going to pay me to go where I need to go, help me get out to you, I'll be there. All right. My short-term goals are just to increase my work radius. I've pretty much knocked out all the connecting states around Colorado, with the exception of a couple, and I'm looking forward to knocking those out in time. And in a long-term goal, I'd like to be a well-known national act. Moving on to a worldwide act, hopefully. It doesn't matter the stage. I don't, I just want a platform to apply my craft wherever it's at, and I want the notoriety for my work, and that's where I'm at with that.
Because what I'm thinking here is something to just because I'm seeing a couple clips from like the other. At least I saw a clip earlier this week with like the death match with like the bombs surrounding the ring. It's like I don't know if did they do that in AEW, Z, or
They had
didn't
an explosion match, yeah.
Yeah, like an explosion match.
It was flop. It was
Yeah,
no good.
it wasn't like I think it was like New Japan had one in I think in late '80s where it actually was like a big ass explosion. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was FMW when they did the exploding barbed wire death match.
It was like a huge cage around it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It just blows up like because the time ran out. Like, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, listen, those things thankfully are few and far between. I don't intend on being a part of too many bombs.
I want to praise you on the fact that because you've been in the business in a short amount of time. You and I are kind of the same, man. I was 2019 when I got in. I don't remember. I'm 38 now. I don't keep track of age and time and all that good stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we're in the business late. I went for the mouth role. You went for the physical role. But right. I like the fact that you said you're trying to conquer the connecting states right now to you. Because that's a short-term goal thing. Get all the states next to you. I at least worked once, and because you got one coming up in Montana, correct? Here shortly.
Yep.
So you'll have that one knocked out too here soon. So that's really cool. That's something that all young guys in the business, hopefully if people are listening to this, that I've went to Arkansas, I've worked in Missouri, and I've worked Illinois, based out of Illinois.
Right.
So it's cool to see that. So I'm starting to get myself out, but you just clocked one for me.
It's just a little harder out here in the West because the states are, huge.
Right.
Huge.
Right.
So our drive times are insane.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Like so I'm in the Midwest here, and I think I reached 9 states that I've worked
Yeah.
in.
Beautiful.
So in my career, so the rules of the road. And I'll tell you what, getting road trip experiences, like when I first get in the business, I mean, it was nothing like it in the late '90s.
Right.
I'll tell you, that's where it was at. Getting stupid and still that era where you can get stupid and kind of,
I mean, we got stupid in a different way at IHOP. Not IHOP, Waffle House. Creed sung.
Yeah, well, you weren't after a show, when you were trying to go through. Well, it was like a double weekend booking, and we hit the local bar, and the beer was tasting a little bit good that night, and apparently the bar had like sumo outfits, and so we had. Remember them inflatable like Miller Lite, like sumo guys?
Yeah. All I'm picturing now is a bunch of a drunk wrestlers.
Sign me up right now.
Yeah, so we had.
Yeah, dude, I've probably been there singing Creed and in a sumo outfit.
Yeah, so some of us were partaking a little bit too much with beer and with optional wrestling activity that just about knocked me to the freaking floor because I wasn't paying attention and being drunk, and I got knocked on my butt, and I'm sitting laying in this sumo outfit. I can't get up. So,
all right, Mr. Dean Mercer. It's come to that time. We all have them. We all have the Mount Rushmores. And since we're highlighting deathmatch and hardcore wrestling today, I want you to break down your top 5 wrestlers that are hardcore known or deathmatch known. And then tell us who was your main influence to get into that style of business.
Oh, let's see here. Top 5. You got Terry Funk. You got Mick Foley. Let's see. Terry Funk, Mick Foley. Let's go. I don't know. Some of these hardcore guys from the WWF. This is a good question, and you put me on the spot here, brother.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
Terry Funk and Mick Foley are my 2 guys mainly here, and I'm not gonna lie, those are my 2 guys. But I would add some other guys that work a very violent style that I feel like I replicate that I'll add to that. So you got Terry Funk and you got Mick Foley. Those are the 2 hardcore influences. And then I like Big Van Vader and
how about any other ECW original? Like, how did you think about the performance of the Sandman?
Oh shit, Sandman was classic. Raven, these guys were iconic for their time, and needless to say, like the stuff that they did back in the time was timeless and really influenced a lot of guys like me. But I take more influence from bigger men that do more of the violent style, like I was saying, like Big Van Vader, like Stan Hansen, like The Undertaker, and and we'll take, we'll throw the Mick Foley and the Terry Funk into the mix there because those are the guys I really draw inspiration from. And I don't like to confine it all just to the extreme, the hardcore guys. I'm not just a deathmatch wrestler. I'm a professional wrestler who does deathmatch.
Ooh, I like that call because he is not only is he the deathmatch champion for AIWF, he's one half of the tag team champions for your home promotion, correct?
Damn right. Right there.
See, he can do it all. Mr. Mercer can.
I do what I best.
You said you pull influence from Stan Hansen.
Yes.
The clothesline that you gave, I don't remember how long ago it was, but you were facing Johnny Cash. And
No,
you
yeah.
gave him a clothesline that was a thud and a half, my dude. Like I said, I can't tell you when the match was, but you hit that man so hard, and he's like, he didn't move that, and oh my god, it was like you two were just two Mack trucks just slapping meat. It was pretty sweet.
There's many more where that came from.
Dude, go watch that Johnny Cash, Dean Mercer match. Those two beat the shit out of each other, and this guy's like, he's like this tubby Taz.
Oh yeah, Debbie Johnny Cash, she's our guy out here, man.
Yeah, I'm down with it.
Yeah, baby.
It was a killer. It was a good match. It really was. I like watching random matches, so I don't like when Ruby sends me guys and I go watch these people. Like I'm all about it. I watched 120 hours of professional wrestling from Monday to Monday during WrestleMania weekend.
That's that love, baby.
I watched from GCW all the way to Joey Janela's break. I watched Sabu's last barbed wire match. Like I was in it to win it for because that's all I want to do is just I want to consume visually so I can speak about it, so I can make you guys shine better, so I can make you I want to be the sugar to your cake, my dude, the icing to it. Like, yeah, you get it.
It sounds like you're living the dream right now, to be honest.
100%. But I'm not going to say you messed up, but I'm going to tell you mine, okay? I'm going to put John Moxley as one of the great hardcore guys, EC Deathmatch dudes. I'm sorry. Listen, he's OG to me when it comes to some of the deathmatch stuff.
He sure is.
Terry Funk and Mick Foley are on the list. Of course. There's no better than Terry Funk. Runner-up Abdullah the Butcher for his death-defying BS that he would put people through.
That forehead.
And then the great Sabu. That to me is the hardcore, like, the guys.
Yeah. I'll argue with you right now that I don't think Sabu is all deathmatch, though. That he's like me. Like I said, he's a professional wrestler who does 100%. Deathmatch.
100%. Mick Foley's the same way. He's not all deathmatch. Yes. I want to show that the deathmatch guys have another level, and that's what you're showing right now with the fact that you're the tag team champions, or one half, and you're rocking the AIWF Deathmatch title, man, dude. Like, so we're highlighting that right now. You're kicking ass on multiple levels. In the match that I pointed out, the Johnny Cash versus Dean Mercer, there was not a hardcore match. These two just beat the shit out of each other. So I'm in with it.
Sweet.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, like I said, there's some good entertainment. Like another one, if we're gonna be going back to ECW, one that was entertaining but yet controversial, but yet some of the stuff, the way he delivered moves, was New Jack.
Yeah,
I can't believe I forgot New Jack in that list.
Hey, that makes two of us because I just did too.
Wow.
Yeah. So they have like NWA's Natural Born Killers play all the way through his matches, and he's freaking throwing out vacuum cleaners and who knows what else. he's just doing like comedic art as right before he's getting ready to strike him. It's
so fire, perfect.
Oh my gosh. But it's just like ECW, the way they carry like some of these matches, like so many stages of guys that come out and do like multiple spots, like in their main events and all that. I'm like, God, where's this match going to end? Because everybody's coming out, and it's like, oh my God. I mean, but yeah,
all for the violence.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there is some controversy to what he's done as far as like. We all know about the whole the guy that apparently was I don't know that he basically made bleed heavily and
yeah
and then of course the knife the box cutter incident that was a little too far, but
Yeah, I think sometimes some of these guys. So I mean, God love them, and God bless those who have to face them. Good Lord, they're just
Yeah.
you don't have to be out of your mind. So you don't have to be out of your minds to do this stuff. I mean, but my God, I mean, at least be somewhat sane whenever you're working somebody. Uh, you know, like I said, there's only one really power that could really do that. So like some people just some things do get taken a little bit too far at some instances, and sometimes it can be controlled, and sometimes it can't. So leading into that, with the short time you like, so you've been like what 3 years or 2 years? Uh,
4 years total.
4 years total with training.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you. Yeah. So in the short time you've been in the ring so far, and I guess I know we do more on deathmatch, but when we see deathmatch champion is coming on it, which by the way, guys, and we haven't really talked about his stature. You're no small dude. I mean,
No,
not just
no.
you're over 300, but you're actually 6'6".
Yes.
Is that right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So small guys who want to work a death match with you are already intimidated because you're going to come at him with a freaking whopping kendo stick or something.
You're gonna have to do all you can.
Can't you just like drop the stick and like dunk him somewhere? You know what I mean?
That's usually the plan. Find the nearest trash can and dump them.
Ah, but now that would
It's
be a
got this
fun.
picture of like somebody getting thrown in a trash can on top of a Titantron and then just like rolled down it.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh man. Um, but is so far as your in your deathmatch competitions that you've had, is there a move or a spot that you performed in a deathmatch that you wish you could take back because maybe it was a little bit too extreme? Or kind of take us through maybe some of the most like maybe the most extreme spot you've done that's kind of got you shaking your head like, ooh, was that a good idea? Or hopefully they're okay.
It's usually involves, lacing the neck around a chair or something like that, where you do it in such a way, you're taught, you're told how to do things in such a way to keep everybody as safe as possible. And I know that's kind of pulling the wall, the curtain back, but the reality is we're trying to do things the right way and the safe way. But it's always I've never had an incident where I regretted it like that. Those anytime I've worked with somebody's neck around an implement, I've always been a little cautious about. There's some footage of me, throwing dudes on crutches, chairs, anything on their neck, anything like that. It just to me is a little cringeworthy. I know the neck is so sensitive and the throat, close up. I don't want the last thing I want is to gain a reputation of somebody who's hurt somebody at all, And that might sound weak coming from the freaking deathmatch champion here,
No.
but we're doing things the right way. We're doing things the safe way, and it's the art of pain more than it is the actual pain.
I heard that from another. Who, was that Nick Gage that said that? I think because when he was defended one time in a thing, it's the art of pain. Whatever you said, I can't say it now because it went away.
It's the art of pain versus the actual pain.
Yeah, versus the actual pain.
Yeah, the reality of the situation is most of us are going to try to do this again tomorrow, and then the next day, and how am I going to do that if my freaking throat is bashed in? How am I going to do that if I can't move my fingers? Like we got to do things in the most impactful way, meaningful way, and in the best way to elicit the best reaction. So that's really how it's portrayed.
I like that. I like that. And since I've started to like open my mind more to the funny part, like, and we talked about earlier about being grounded from wrestling and losing out and not getting to watch it or something. I actually took almost a year off I left We Talk Wrestling. I stopped talking wrestling. I stopped watching wrestling for damn near a year because I got so negatively wrapped up in just like the banter online and the social media stuff that it killed professional wrestling for me. So then I had to like rebirth myself into it. And since I've been doing that, I've been looking at professional wrestling a little bit differently, like how different aspects of it, how comedic wrestling can work, and how the death match or the hardcore, like the super hardcore style, actually works and incorporates in. I'm still for that kind of stuff being a blow off type match,
Right.
in a sense, but I get the passion that's behind it and the understanding and the building. There's some really sweet matches out there actually that aren't just like the run of the mill, like light tube, chair, glass pane.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's thought behind it. There's this effort. That's something I'm really happy that I was able to take the blinders and the goggles off.
Yeah.
You know, and
There's
see
a
that.
lot of there's a lot of really high level guys doing this stuff in ways that you would not expect. It's even I'm very similar to yourself. Was not necessarily a deathmatch guy when I started, but once we got in there, it's opened my eyes to a whole new world, and I'm happy for it.
Okay, so this actually is perfect. This leads right into my next question in all sense. Since we are highlighting the death match, and I know you're not just a death match man, we know it. You show and you're reaping in gold because of it. But because of the people out there that were like us once, or maybe have the beer goggles on for professional wrestling, it can only be this one way, and it should only be this one way. What would you tell somebody about the deathmatch community that would allow them to see potentially growth, that where not only storyline can be told, but people are, like you said, doing it the right way?
Everything has its place in professional wrestling, and that goes from comedic wrestling to deathmatch wrestling to hard style to technical wrestling. There's a spot not only on a card but on any show for any of this. So um, to draw more eyes, I mean, the top guys are going to be doing it the right way. Not nobody wants to do just reckless shit and break a light tube over their head for no reason. The top guys are doing this and they're showing reason, the right psychology for why they're doing this, and you know, uh, hopefully with in time we'll get more eyes on the deathmatch scene, and with the more eyes, more people will see that there's more to it than just reckless violence and no stories. There's a good storyline most of the time. You just have to be willing to watch it.
See, I think that's the key for me. I think there's a lot of, and we sit here, Ruby and I sit here and we criticize wrestling matches. We criticize, as a man that's been in the business for years and has an idea and understanding and has worked with some of the great legends, as a guy that's watched too much wrestling potentially, and then now learning it from a guy that has worked and done it. So I think sometimes we over criticize too much on things inside the ring, outside the ring, what day to day life. And I love to see this. Ruby and I have been on this crusade. CVV is another guy that we feel like has been on this crusade. We see it in upper management of WWE. Different promotions are showing it. AIWF is obviously showing it because they have great-minded, liked individuals like you that are running, helping carry the titles, whatnot. There's this positive influx about just professional wrestling as a whole, from comedic to deathmatch to regular, old school NWA territory days. Hee-haw, boy, we cowboy. Like, and it's such a good breath of fresh air that we get to see guys like you that get to promote both sides of this fence. So I do appreciate you coming on here to do that and talk these nitty gritty conversations with us, because sometimes death matches get looked at wrong, and it's not right. Because if we can enjoy certain matches, like I said earlier, there's no reason we can't stem some belief and enjoy some other ones. And you are definitely all about business when it comes to those titles. So proud of you there, Dean Mercer.
Thanks.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, the only thing that the recourse, and the only thing I'm with deathmatch is, sometimes things, to me personally, it's like I don't know if you guys take it too far because I don't know if I would take that weapon or bump or whatever. But like I said, and I've been, I've observed death matches where a lot were involving light tubes and where we get like these fine shards of glass because they would break these light tubes
Mhm.
and they would just go all over, not just inside the ring, but you would see like art particles of glass go back like about 10 rows back. And it's like, if I mean, you kind of have to let people know, like you're gonna have
Yes.
something like that because, like I said, like for, and I'm not gonna mention the promotion, but there's a tribute show for somebody, and and the for a worker who had passed, and I mean, he did death matches and hardcore matches from time to time, and they wanted to pay tribute to some of the stuff he did, which of course one was light tubes, but you know they they took down the ropes. They did barbed wire for the ropes, and they got in there, and they just there's one very popular guy that gets around the world that does that too, and who's one of the favorite juggalos, um with the madman, if I could not. I mean, I'm getting too close.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm getting too close there, but I mean, I understand. These light tubes and some of these stuff that just hurts. I mean, I've seen some of the craziest stuff. Like even like there's like some viral, like from several years back, viral videos of just somebody like on the top of a building and they crash through a table from like going like 3 stories down and going into like a dumpster or something. It's just like I'm waiting for like the dumpster to catch on fire, and I'm like, man, what kind of move was that? It's like it's crazy. So I guess the whole thing is, I mean, deathmatch is a more intense version of hardcore. Is just you know instead of barbed wire, you may have like razor wire, but it just you kind of explain. I mean, I get. I mean, you can't be afraid really of this, but the thing is that you have a higher chance of losing a lot more blood than in a regular
Yes.
hardcore match, and just don't hit an artery, please. Whatever you do, because that's going to be uh
Absolutely. Safety is
yeah,
paramount for sure.
that is for certain. So yeah, so like I say, you're taking bookings everywhere. Where can people find you on social media by chance?
So I'm on Facebook excuse me. I'm on Facebook at D Mercer, and I'm on Instagram at D Mercer. So
Okay, so Facebook and Instagram, Dean Mercer. And when is your next show coming up by
my
chance?
next show, I will be in Dodge City, Kansas, working for South Kansas Independent Lucha Libre or Skill next. What is it? Sunday, May 4th.
Okay, wow. Okay, Aw- awesome. So we're busy on Saturday. You're busy on Sunday. So
Yes. And then I will be in Montana the May 9th. Will be the debut of Montana Championship Wrestling and the debut of Dean Mercer in Montana Championship Wrestling.
so are you going to be defending those titles at all? Well, I mean, the tag titles maybe not, but
Listen. I'll say this right now. I'm willing to go wherever I need to defend that deathmatch championship. I'm willing to work whoever wants to work with me for that deathmatch championship. All I need is people to contact me and let's get this thing done.
wow, yeah, yeah, I'm all for it, maybe because I mean to get those, to kind of get those miles in and just getting known. Like I said, the AIWF is definitely the best place to have that done, at least here in the states.
Yeah.
But I think they keep flipping between like 92 or 93 promotions across the. It's like it seems like when one stops, the other one there's one that starts up. We need
Yeah,
to
it's
have at
always
least
going to be there.
100. We need to at
Yeah.
least have 100 going, so people need to know. Um, but wrestling in Montana, though, I I think I just want to get there before, as like a vacation spot because I heard there's beautiful land up there. More,
Yeah.
more, more is for like peace and serenity because Lord knows I need it.
We can all use it. We can all use a little bit.
Yeah. But no, man. I mean, but I'm glad we had an opportunity to get you on here and sit down and have a good conversation. And like I said, well, we always like having a story. We're always intrigued by other stories that how they come into the business, and there's different ways, and some that are just not your typical, like you're active in school, but then you decide, like I said, landscaping is no sloucher's job. I'll tell you that, and I respect those guys that get out there and do that. So yeah, so that's
Yeah.
because you got to be out in the sun. I mean, the
It's
shift
not
to
the
be like
hardest job, but it's definitely not the easiest.
no, I mean, like, so you would think you need to be out in the sun or something, to kind of do that, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I've got this permanent raccoon tan. I don't know if it comes through, but yeah, it's there bad.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I know it's like like a trucker who has his window down. He's got that tan on his car. Just sitting here, just one hand on the wheel on long trips. Yeah, man. But no. I mean, I'm gonna make sure the Z sends me at least that one match of Johnny Cash because man, if I'm looking at like meat smacking clotheslines, man, because
Yeah,
there's some of
baby.
these tonight that I can
Dude, they
hear.
were hitting each other.
Yeah, I hear and I can feel like, I'm like, oh my
But
god,
he thuds him once, and they just like it was awesome. It was fun. So.
oh my gosh.
And the fans were eating. No offense.
Oh, no.
The fans were eating Johnny Cash up and booing
That man is the fan favorite. The fans love them some Johnny Cash, baby.
Anything Dean did to this man, he got booed. And then Johnny Cash was coming. It was great. It was fun. It was a fun match. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's always fun. That's why we do this here because we got to play to the crowd. You just come out and do a move set, you ignore the crowd, you're basically lost your purpose. So,
Yeah.
but no, man. But now, like I said, I appreciate you coming on. Best of luck in your upcoming shows. Like I said,
Thank you.
To tell your other guys, at least your other acquaintances about us. I mean, hopefully you had a nice, enjoyable, and kind of a laid back time with us because like I said, for a guy who's just now gotten in the 30th year in the business and I don't know when I'm going to quit, but I'm sure when I can't walk, I guess, but I don't know.
Never the right time.
But be careful, like I said, it's
Absolutely.
well, what we do is kind of extreme and at the same point being safe, and if you know how to master that art, then keep at it. So
Will do. Absolutely.
It was a pleasure.
So thanks.
Pleasure all mine. Thank you, gentlemen, for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us, man. Best of luck, and kind of. Hopefully, we can reach maybe an update down the road and see how things are going,
absolutely.
man. So,
yeah, we'll touch base. That's for sure. Thanks for having me again.
All right, thanks, man. You have a good rest of your night.
All right, thank you, boys.
All right. Yeah. So that was All Business Dean Mercer, the AIWF Deathmatch Champion. Man, what a
My dog has me all messed up. He was literally barking hardcore. My bad, dude. It slipped. I slipped.
See, master of the strike. We're not talking about
Dude, having Dean on tonight was awesome. Like I loved getting to sit down and talk a little deathmatch because I have had a change of heart about the style. Like I see where the love of it is in the wrestlers that do it. I see the love in it for the fans. I just think it, like I said it tonight, it's a blow off thing for me in all sense, but I see the art form in it and I like it. So I like that we gotta highlight it tonight.
Yeah. like I said, I think if we find a way to just like death matches. I mean, like I said, they are going to be kind of gruesome. Some people some people will cringe at it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I know John Moxley. I was like, I don't know, and I'm thinking to myself, is he going to bring up that whole spike spot? Oh God, please, I don't want to think about that. Especially when they try to get it out and they pried. I'm like, oh no, no.
I mean,
I don't want to see it.
I see the controversy of it, especially a spot like that on national TV. But like Triple H has been saying, like so many other people have been saying, we can stem the belief for other things. It's okay to stem for a little bit. The athleticism is still there. The giftedness is still there. The training is still, like, everything about it's still a tough man sport. And lady. I'll respect that. Tough lady sport too. Everything about it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we watch all kinds of action films and do dumb stuff like that. It makes sense. It's just a little violence. It's only over with in about 10 minutes.
And then El Juggalo says, whoop, whoop. That's not superhuman whoop whoop, is it?
That's Superhuman does that, yeah.
Oh, man.
It's for the juggalos and juggalettes. I respect it. I've never been a juggalo, but I respect it. I did go to a gathering once just so I could go to a JCW show. So I have been to a gathering.
Respect.
Dude, that was an awesome show too. That was so cool.
Man.
I gotta watch Sandman break a beer can over his head.
Oh, what's this now? So apparently,
what?
Doing tapings for a new show on YouTube called Lunacy. Okay.
I'm down with that. That's cool. They just did a crossover thing with GCW too. That was actually pretty cool. I think it was GCW.
I mean,
I want to say it was GCW.
I mean, that sounds about right to me because GCW is just all over the map doing a whole bunch of stuff with Bloodsport.
Bro, dude, okay. Speaking of WrestleMania weekend, right?
Yeah.
You people out there, if you have not watched the GCW Bloodsport from over the weekend of WrestleMania weekend with Natalya and all that stuff, go do yourself a favor and watch that. That stuff was killer. It was so damn good, dude. I loved every minute. And now Natalie is in the Crockett Cup, or going to the Crockett Cup to face Paige. Right? I think it's Paige.
Really?
From the NWA, yes.
Kenzie Page, yeah. So Kenzie Page, yeah.
Versus Natalya at the Crockett Cup. How flipping cool is that, bro? Tell me that we aren't seeing the territory days just literally emerge back out into reality.
Wow. That's, and I thought, I gotta know Natty's like contract details because she's just like everywhere, and you see a different side of Natty for like the longest time that you watch that Bloodsport, bro. You're gonna see a different side of Natty, and then that's even before she got in confrontation with Kenzie Page.
Right after.
I mean, to see the whole Bloodsport, dude. Yeah, that is entertaining though. No ropes, just the canvas. So basically, it's like a huge Raw Underground whole show type of deal.
Dude, it's so good. It's so good. Like, the concept is there. I'm so with it.
And in the matches I saw, I'm sorry, they were better than the Raw Underground.
Oh, 100%. Like, anything WWE and NXT did with it was, because the Bloodsport stuff. What's his name? The guy, Josh. Damn it. The guy that's like spearheading this whole thing with GCW, and I can't remember his name now, but him and Baron Corbin had a match.
Yeah.
And that match was stellar too. Like, I'm all for the Bloodsport style.
Yeah, let's not forget about two guys from the No Quarter Catch crew of NXT. Were down there, like Tavion Heights and God, who was the other one?
Charles Dempsey.
Charlie Dempsey.
Charlie Dempsey was down there too. Yeah.
So these guys are so. Man, I'm telling you that yeah, you need to find Bloodsport and just watch it. I mean, if you're into like a whole bunch of maneuvers with just bouncing ropes and and aerial attacks, this is not the show for you. This is basically grappling, submission, striking, and
Yeah, it was cool.
And yeah,
I'm just happy. I'm just happy we're getting Natalia outside because when her contract came up and like there was so much like buzz that she hadn't signed a new contract, I was like, oh, dude, I really hope Natty leaves. Like, dude, I was so pumped for Natty to leave WWE. Not because I don't love Natty in WWE, but she's done everything there. Like, so for her to like show up at TNA or go to GCW or now NWA or even the possibility of her going to AEW and doing something crazy would have been flipping cool for me because I am 100% a Natty fan. So getting to see this new side of Natty outside of the WWE bubble, thank you.
Yeah. Go to AEW to kick Mercedes' ass, please. Somebody, just do it, please.
I kind of was hoping she'd become like Tony Storm's like Butler or something. Not gonna lie. Dude, think about those two as a tag team. Don't even tell me, oh no. But you get Natalia with Timeless Tony Storm. I think those two could make magic as a tag team, bro.
I was gonna say, but don't make her a lackey.
No, nothing like that. But like,
oh, okay.
I'm talking like she would want to be Tony, like do like a reverse Mae Young kind of thing, in some sense.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like Natty has that old school feel. And Tony's like reimagining the old like 1920s female wrestler kind of thing. And if they two, I'm telling you, there's something there. I was right about Sheamus and Claudio as the bar. I tell you right now, these two would make magic as a tag team together because I think Natalia playing to like the old fashioned style female wrestler of the dungeon and all that stuff, being a heart and all would play so well with Timeless Tony Storm. I'm just saying. I think that'd be a great story.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, but I still think somebody just kick Mercedes' ass, please. Just do it.
Yeah, because now we're gearing up for that Tony versus Mercedes Moné match, and I'm not looking forward to that one.
Oh, and I'm if that happens, I'm going to tell you right now, if there's an outcome I'm not going to like, I am going to flip my lid. And you all are going to be witnesses of the lid flipping because I am not going to be happy. So
are we just free balling right now?
Well, I mean, we do have some.
You got some more stuff?
Yeah,
okay,
we do have a little bit here, and just want to kind of bring this up here. We probably about 4 or 5 headlines we're going to talk about. I didn't put results up here. There's a lot going on. I will tell you though, before we get into WWE the week after, tonight was TNA Rebellion. There has been. Oh, what? Dude, put that last comment up there. Are you kidding me? So, do we need to call Evan Golden with his old buddy Kerry kind of floating in the DCW?
My dude, Evan, you got to go get that title.
Dude, so Kerry Morton has been on fire, bro. Holy cow.
That's crazy. That's awesome. I'm all for Kerry being the JCW. I can see it. Didn't his dad do a match there? The Rocker.
I think they did.
They did.
They did do a match. Yeah.
Yeah, they've done matches to JCW for.
Yeah, they have. So
it makes sense. It makes sense. I'm all for this. That's awesome, Kerry.
Dude, man, that is awesome.
Evan, you got gold you need to go get, bro. Get on it, Evan. Yeah. If you haven't watched our show, by the way, from last week with Evan, no, it wasn't last week. It was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago
with Evan Golden. Must see stuff there. That was great stuff.
Yeah, so that was 2 weeks ago with Evan Golden. Yeah,
he defeated Willie Mack. That's one of my faves. I'm a big fan of Willie Mack. Willie Mack's a good big man.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Hey guys,
Well,
if you are watching for the first time, just make sure wherever you're watching this on, make sure you're liking and subscribing. Of course, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and of course X. And that QR code will take you to all of our spots, every false count everywhere. Even if you got to go back and kind of scan that code, or if you're watching on another TV, scan that code and make sure you catch us everywhere we're at. All right.
El Juggalo now got me wanting to watch JCW more.
Yeah.
I don't need any more wrestling.
Yeah. Well, shoot, dude. There's just so much in there, and trust me, even kind of the bad stuff we kind of like chuckle at. But
yeah, it's wrestling. I don't care.
But if it's lame stuff, we're probably going to pass on it. But
I like wrestling. So what are these highlights you want to?
Yeah. So let's dig in. For goodness sakes, let's shrink this down. There we go.
Wait a minute. Does his shoes say Jack?
I have no idea. What do they say? Oh, Jack.
Why does this? What is on the bottom of his foot? I don't know. I don't know shoes like other people. Terry's a shoe guy. I'm not one of the Bucks. I don't do shoes really.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we're talking everything Raw because basically a lot happened on Raw that we want to talk about here. So basically, Randy Orton's targeting John Cena as basically the feud over the undisputed WWE Championship. Main event is set for Backlash, which is going to be in my backyard in 3 weeks, and of course Randy Orton's hometown of St. Louis, Missouri. And I was thinking about this past week, and I'm like, are they going to have like a kickoff show here in town? Like maybe like the day before? And like, how do I get down there? You know?
You're asking the wrong guy.
I know. I'm getting in that crop dusting machine. I want to crop dust the knowledge of false count everywhere to the man.
Yeah, let's go. That'd be sick.
Dude,
this is I would love to be there for this pay-per-view. This PLE is gonna be fire. Backlash is about to hit on all cylinders.
Yeah, it is. It is for certain.
Did you watch SmackDown? Did you get a chance to watch SmackDown?
I watched most of it. Yeah.
The promo between these two.
Oh yeah,
was awesome.
Yeah,
was awesome, dude. Yeah, the promo between these guys. I'm excited to see this. Why? Why am I pumped? Back in the day when Lee and I got so tired of watching John Cena versus Randy Orton, like, and here I am, like, let's do it. Let's go one more time. Because now I'm actually getting to cheer Randy Orton for being truly the hero. Because Randy is the hero. John's always been the villain. Once again, I was right. John's always been the villain. And I finally get my hero moment with hopefully my hero holding his championship title held high in St. Louis. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. It's going to be kind of, because I think John's going to be having some dates. Like, so we got 27 dates left? Or
I think that's right. 27 dates.
Yeah. So,
I want to say it's right.
It's going to be a good match. Absolutely.
Which blows my mind that we're saying that Randy Orton versus John Cena, a match that we've legitimately seen way too many freaking times.
But think about it, though. All those times, Cena has played the big time face.
I know it's
Randy has been the burning the light evolution.
I'm going to
killer heel that nobody liked.
So do you remember when Randy Orton was champion? I don't remember what PLE it was. George and I about lost our shit for this. In a good way, okay? John and Randy are having a match. Randy can't beat John. So Randy just slaps the ref. So help me gosh. If Cena slaps the ref to retain the title, would make me mark out so damn big, bro. Just because the fact that my hero My guy back in the day was Randy Orton, and he won that way, or he retained. Sorry, because John won. But if it happened, bro, it would be beautiful. It would be beautiful. That's all I'm saying.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if John's gonna be at Raw tomorrow night, but I think Randy's gonna be more showing up on SmackDown. Like I said, they did a lot of Mania stuff on Raw, whether it be you're on Raw or SmackDown, and we've not heard of anything official as far as regarding the draft is concerned yet. I don't think.
No, we haven't heard anything about it.
So
I did read somewhere. I think Nick Aldis is going to be in charge of Raw tomorrow night.
Huh. I wonder. Yeah. So how? Well, I don't know. All I know is that and we're going to get into that here. In fact, we'll get into that here shortly here. But let's take a look here. So, so fan jumped the barricade at Lunacy. Backseat boys who lost their tactiles turned heel, choked them out. Obviously, the fan got thrown out. So,
wow,
damn. See, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you guys are crazy, but you guys, if you're not part of the show, if you're not a trained professional wrestler that's approved to be part of the show, don't jump the ropes or the barricades or whatever it is. Do not put your ass at ringside because you don't belong there. Okay. Stuff happens. It's always going to happen. That's the world of wrestling. Your life's not going to be different from it. It's not like you laid down, you betted your mortgage against who's going to win or lose the tag title. So get over it. I understand your spirit, but you're taking it too far. So how about this? This is interesting right here. We heard something stirred up about a few weeks back. But finally, Rusev Day returns. And ironically, when the New Day was about ready to defend their titles, and now comes Rusev. But, I mean, of course, came out to a huge pop. New Day powders out of the ring, doesn't want nothing to do with Rusev, but Alpha Academy was still there. And basically, Rusev just laid waste to the Alpha Academy. So...
I do want to see like an actual match between Rusev and Otis now. I would say that.
Yeah, that's gonna be I think it's coming.
Dude, think about the heavy hitters.
I'll be shocked.
The heavy hitters in WWE now. We have Rusev. When our boy, God dang it, Tsunami.
Yeah.
Dang it. Tsunami. Oh, God. Why am I blanking on his damn name?
Yeah, who did this?
So you got Otis, you got Rusev now, we got Braun Strowman in there still, we got Jacob Fatu. This is pissing me off.
Yeah, well, this kind of, I guess we can kind of see if we can get our research done and kind of.
No, there's no research. I'm literally just blanking.
Yeah, well, we kind of need to do research if we're blanking out on stuff. I know I would need to be because, Chris, I blank out on stuff recently because.
Hey, where's that so-called number 2 podcaster right now?
Oh yeah, I think like that's what I told him.
He was in the War Games. Hurt his ankle.
Oh, you're talking about Big Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed, thank you. See, I knew who I was talking. Like it was there. It just wasn't wanting to come out.
Yeah, you gave me a good clue, so thanks for that. Because I was blanking out too because we forgot all about him. You talk about boy, if you saw that ankle break, oh.
But I want to see him versus Rusev, bro.
Bro, you want to talk about mad competition?
Rusev versus Jacob Fatu. Let's go.
Right. We got a lot of good heavy hitters in WWE.
we talk about Dean Mercer and Johnny Cash getting meat on meat action. Like those guys would just eat each other alive, dude. Jacob Fatu and Rusev needs to happen now.
Yeah.
Sooner than later.
Yeah, but I see Rusev getting a match, whether it be against Otis, because usually sometimes with these like smaller, like short storylines, you get the matches quicker. I think we may get Rusev versus Otis tomorrow night. So,
dude, I'm pumped for that. Especially if we get a highlight me and Otis.
Yeah.
Because Otis is no slouch in there, and they need to stop using him as like, I like comedy. But can we make Otis a little bit more serious? Because the comedy rolls off easily for the guy. So let's give him more seriousness, because Otis is the shit.
Absolutely. Now this kind of floored me. I mean, obviously, we all know Jay, main event Jey Uso, won the big one. He's world heavyweight champion. We're not going to get much into the whole stare down, possibly, and I mean, we may get into that. But here's what I want to get in here right here: is Gunther taking it too far? This all started coming back from a commercial break, and after they've had their celebrations, and Gunther basically attacked Pat McAfee after Gunther went after Michael Cole, but then Pat McAfee smacked him a good one, trying to defend Cole. But then when you got somebody who's really angry like Gunther, and you got guys holding them back, and Pat McAfee is nonchalant and he turns his back, well, this is what happens. He gets choked out unconsciously. And apparently now with the result of this, according to Adam Pearce's social media and reporting with WWE, that he's been fined an undisclosed amount of money and he's been suspended indefinitely for attacking WWE talent that is non-competitive in the ring. So I guess a couple things here. One, when do we see Gunther back? Does he say, screw your rules, he's going to show up anyway? Or do we see a Pat McAfee Gunther showdown, even though Gunther's pretty much a dominant? Gunther's really only lost 3 times in WWE when he came up, when he's, so I mean, McAfee's talented, but I don't see Gunther and McAfee as a legitimate square off for like a big time show. I don't know.
I don't know, man. Wasn't Pat he was in War Games, bro?
He was in War Games in NXT, yeah.
Yeah, and he showed a lot more talent than I thought, and then I would pay to watch Gunther versus Pat McAfee. I really would. But who knows? I mean, some legend said, I thought too, that he was coming out of retirement because of it.
Oh, Legend's coming out of retirement to get a Gunther?
Yep, supposedly.
Now that I didn't see. So if you're reading something that I'm not, I'd definitely like to hear about that.
I guess. I was just reading stuff online that.
And if it's on the internet, it's true. So.
Yeah, it was. I'm not saying it's true, dude. I was reading it. I'm literally. You have to tell you where I was reading it at, so you can be like, oh, okay, maybe it's not because it's dirt sheet.
You have.
Because I was reading it on a Reddit firm about it. That a legend supposedly messaged or something. Or, I don't know. That there's a bigger plan to it, I guess. But I would pay to. I'm not worried about that. I'd actually pay to see Pat McAfee versus Gunther. If Gunther's not going to go right back after Jay, he doesn't need to be the highlight match. This match would be a great blow off thing for him, right? For Gunther, he's mad at the commentary team, like. Because they pictured him in a bad light, so he attacked him. Like, I kind of understand. I'd hate to see it happen to me at a commentary table because I picture everybody correctly and not get myself in a position where I get choked out like Pat McAfee did. But there has to be more to the story. Like, who comes to save their day? Or does Pat get justification for it? And Pat's a guy that's going to pick his balls up and go, put me in, coach. And I think that's what's going to happen. Gunther bit off more than he could chew, potentially.
Yeah, I totally get it.
And the storyline that goes beyond these two, like Pat McAfee came in as a football player and made himself a comfy seat at the commentary table, thinking the wrestling's cool and he can do it every once in a while. And Gunther, once again, don't forget he finds the mat sacred. So this is a guy.
Yeah.
This is a guy that comes out of nowhere and comes and joins the wrestling. Gunther made this an art form.
Gunther may also be maybe angry at both of them because they're always yeeting with Jay every time he comes out every week.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Play
Yeah,
favoritism. So
correct. They weren't being the journalists they need to be. Michael Cole, though, big props for picking those nuts up and going right back to the table and calling the match because you're not hindered by some violence in the workplace.
Yeah, I totally get it. But I'm kind of wondering to see how when Pat McAfee returns tomorrow night. How is it going to be? What's he going to address? How's he going to feel? So that's definitely something to look forward to. Hey, here's my next one we're going to talk about here is Liv and Raquel reign again as they drop the straps of WrestleMania and then they gain them right back less than 24 hours later, beating Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. And Becky being the bitter old Irish lass she is, she went and turned on Lyra. So, and we're going to talk more about that. But what about this? 4? I think that makes it a record. And they might have had a record beforehand, but this is the 4th title reign for them as a tag team champ.
I love these two women together. I love everything. I'm a fan of the Judgment Day as a whole. Everything about it, the storyline that's going on there, all the moving parts. Thank baby Jesus, Becky Lynch did the right thing and put the boots to Lyra Valkyria because overdue. The woman needs the title gone. If I have to sit through Becky Lynch being the champion for now, I guess I'll do that because at least they're not tag team champions.
Yeah, a lot of people are still kind of, including one with me because I'm a huge fan of Bayley taking the back seat to all of this.
Speaking of Corbin, did you see what Corbin said about that?
Oh, I saw that. Corbin's highly upset.
I can't remember his name now that he's going by, but
yeah, but Bayley though, I mean,
of all people,
I mean, because she was like the big story, like going into last year, separated from Damage Control and then with Bayley having to battle Io at WrestleMania 40, and then she carries the title all the way through to like, what was it, SummerSlam, possibly
something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, or Bayley had a really good strong run, and she was. And then now all of a sudden she's just like taking a seat back. Whether she would report she has an injury or not, I don't know how legitimate that is. But either way, if it's not a legitimate injury, why are we taking back seats to Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria?
Well, there's rumors about I'm going to say probably the next thing you have on the list.
Yeah. So I don't have a caption for this because this about blew my mind at the end of the show, right here.
Yeah.
So this blew my mind right here.
So there's fan theories that hope that this is going to be Paul Heyman, Seth, Braun, and potentially Austin Theory. But a new theory that has come out via the internet is that Becky Lynch is actually going to be the next person to join this trio.
Yeah, and then do they make Seth and Becky like a power couple within this new Paul Heyman faction? Because and think about it this way now. This is basically Paul Heyman getting reset all over again. He basically told CM Punk to go F himself pretty much with a nutshot. He basically did the same thing to Roman as his tribal chief.
Mr. Herb, thank you for joining us this evening.
Yeah, Herb, thank you very much for joining us. Yeah, we're excited. And in a couple of, by the way, in a couple of weeks, we will have Mr. Simmons on right before FanFest. So we're going to have some fun talking FanFest with Herb Simmons and things coming up. And like I said, we went over some matches tonight that have been announced for FanFest, and then yeah, we'll get a chance to talk a lot more in a couple weeks with Herb Simmons. But think of it this way: Paul Heyman has now reset himself again. Okay, this man. I mean, not to mention. I mean, one of the greatest minds in wrestling, period. In Paul Heyman, making ways to reinvent himself with aligning with different superstars and coming up with different ways of putting people together and just causing havoc. I mean, going all the way back with Brock Lesnar, right? And then that was him and Brock Lesnar for like the longest time, and of course CM Punk getting into the fold for a little bit right before Punk took his leave, and then it's been Brock Lesnar off and on, between him and Heyman. Then finally gets to the bloodline, develops this whole huge bloodline, delivers this whole big storyline around the bloodline. That was the hottest thing last year, a year ago. Now it's just totally because everybody's went their separate ways. Roman's got nobody. And so Paul Heyman is making a new alliance. I don't want to say a dangerous alliance, but
dude, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping like can I get Paul to say it just once? Like I want him to make mention of the dangerous alliance and be like, this ain't no dangerous alliance. This is, and then whatever their name is going to be. Like I want it to be something like that. Pay homage to the past of what Paul has created and done so many times and so many times over. And the fact that like the breadcrumbs that have been laid. So this is why I've been going on Reddit here lately. Is like Reddit. These people are on Reddit. They're crazy, dude. They they dig through and they dig through. But they were finding like just Easter eggs that he's been laying for the last like year with when he went to Breaker in NXT before Breaker got his call up. Like all kinds of stuff, and they're like connecting the dots. This is beautiful. Like I'm so pumped about this idea. And Seth, I don't care what anyone says. Seth's one of my favorites. And then the references, the nerds out there that are going, this is the Joker, the Penguin, and God dang it, Bane, all coming together and like the decent. I'm loving I love everything about this, dude. I'm so pumped. And Austin Theory would make a great addition, in my opinion, for this, for the simple fact that Austin Theory was originally part of Seth's group when he was the Messiah with Buddy Murphy.
Yeah.
And how cool would that be? Like if Buddy's contract would have been up and he could have been in this group, because like the feud between this group and the Judgment Day that we're gonna get eventually. Oh, dude, I'm pumped.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so with this forming here, it almost seems that I think Paul is. I mean, these guys mean business. Like I said, him and then Braun just coming out of nowhere and spearing Roman. That when Roman was about ready to let Heyman have the spear, and just totally threw everybody off. But of course, if you remember and if you followed Braun throughout his NXT career, Paul Heyman came down and stated he was going to be in the corner of Braun Breaker for one show, and he was.
Mm-hmm.
So, come many, many months later, after Braun's in here, he's got his Intercontinental title run. He just got the throne in a fatal 4-way. Not involved in the pinfall, with Dirty Dom taking the IC title. But now we're getting this here, and it just kind of makes you wonder, where does this group go? Who do they target? I think it's obvious here that Seth is probably going to target Jey Uso for the world title.
Potentially,
yeah.
That's right.
Well, I mean, think of it this way. I mean, Seth was just, he was banged up. He had to leave for a while. Didn't he leave after WrestleMania 40? Because he was actually banged up.
Yeah.
He was, we talk about a guy who was the trooper. He wrestled in both shows. With doing that tag with Cody on night 1 last year, and then having to go right and on the first match of the show in night 2
defend his title.
And they lost to Drew.
And then he came back out and helped Seth win. I mean, not Seth, Cody win. The title.
Yeah, he came back out with the whole Shield and everything. You want to talk about somebody, because he was just really hurting at the end of the night. So
the cool thing, and I'm going to tell you right now, I think I'm on to it. I think I know where the storyline's going. And we're going to see a power struggle between authority figures, specifically a final boss and a King of Kings. But trust me, I truly believe this is where we're going with it, because Paul made the jump over to Seth, who is a Triple H guy. Paul Heyman, at the Hall of Fame speech 2 years ago, right, when he got inducted?
I think in 2024 he got inducted. So
right, so a year
he was inducted in Philly
last year.
Yeah,
he said that he talked about people being Paul Heyman guys, but he's like, I'm a Paul Levesque guy. We're about to see a power struggle. We're about to see wrestlers versus sports entertainers within WWE. Mark my word on that.
Talk about for some interesting storyline and conversation there.
I'm pumped for the storyline, dude. I'm pumped to see where this goes. I'm really hoping that this is more than just like a 3-man group. This almost feels like it needs to be NWO-ish in a sense.
I would say no more than 5.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool. That's a good number if you ask me, but I think it needs to be more than what we're used to. Does that make sense? And I'm talking about active competitors too, not really technically Paul. So I would be cool with 6.
Exactly. I mean,
actually,
we're talking Paul at the helm, but then 5 active.
Yes.
Ross.
You put Becky in there with maybe Austin Theory and Grayson Waller as a whole unit with these guys. Like, there could be some magic of just heat magnets, dude. So,
man alive. Yeah. So, one like some other things that we haven't really talked about, like on SmackDown. Like, we did see the return of Aleister Black.
Awesome. His old music, Austin.
Yes. His old music. And then I don't know if I just had the audio at a bad setting, but it just didn't seem like he didn't get a big pop like he should have. Aleister.
Yeah, it didn't come off the way I thought it would be too, but hey, let's go. Let's see where it goes from here.
Well, that's what you get when you're in Fort Worth, Texas. Like, who's this guy? No.
Right. that's
I'm a jerk. No, but Aleister Black, and then I am so sad.
Oh, yes.
With Chelsea Green.
I'm sad, but not at the same time. Have you seen the tweets that she's been doing? Like, people have been congratulating Zelina, and she's like, no, she sucks. She was like, your abs might look good or something, but that title still looks better around me, or to her. Like, some of the tweets and stuff that she's been in, like Zelina's comments bashing Zelina and stuff. It's beautiful. So I'm okay with this because this adds layers to Chelsea. The wrong woman lost their title first. Can we just say that? But
did she say that?
No, I say it. I'm saying that.
Oh, I would have died laughing. Like, yeah.
But I
agree with.
I love Zelina Vega, so I'm pumped to see her actually have a title. She's very underrated female and stuff. So her and Chelsea are going to have a great back and forth, I feel like. We'll have to see. But right now, I'm cool with it because Chelsea be cracking me up on the comments, bro.
Yeah, I'm going to say continue to push Chelsea Green.
100%. She's a godsend.
Yeah, no, totally.
Because the great thing about her is I have a soft spot for the Divas division, and I've never shied away from it. I have the title right here in a micro, the belt, right? So I have the micro Divas title for the simple fact that those women got put so much BS in it. But to see a woman of this era, Chelsea Green, coming back through, who tried to get on the Divas search, tried to do all that kind of stuff to be in WWE, to now finally getting it, and she has that elegancy of the Divas division and that quirkiness that some of the women had, like Michelle McCool and Layla and all, those women. It makes me ecstatic. Like, I truly was hoping that she would make a Divas United States title, like make it the United States title, but specifically for her, but being the butterfly. Like, to me, that would have been funny. That would have been cool. Like, it would have been interesting because it plays to her character and her strides, and she is just a gem amongst gems.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I mean, the way that she has the secret Hervis.
Dude, it's great. It's great. Now we need to get Piper and Alba to like really develop more as characters with it if they're meshing with it, but if they're not, I respect that because it is kind of like it might be a character some people don't want to play, but if these three women can do it good, I'm all for it because I would love to see Piper and Alba Fire as the tag team champions and stuff with them, like with Chelsea being dude, those three as champions would be hilarious.
Yeah. So speaking of tag teams, and I don't think I really touched on this because I was talking about getting ready to talk about TNA Rebellion. One part of history was made tonight, and we kind of seen it coming.
My brother.
The Nemesis are now TNA World Tag Team Champions, and they pinned the Right Hardy got took the pin.
Jeffrey.
Yes.
Good.
And during the hot spot at the end, it was Nick hitting the danger zone, and then Ryan tagging in and getting the pin.
Even better, dude. Okay, so you messaged me and go like, bro, you have to watch TNA. You got to make sure you watch TNA for the Hardy context thing.
Yeah,
dude. Chase and
hilarious.
Chase and I were sitting there, and Ryan on the therapist couch with Maxwell or some. I don't know which kid it was. dude, I was cracking up. He's like, "You're right. My mom never hugged me."
That's what I'm laughing at. There's just a lot of things in that freaking whole cinematic promo that just, man, it was fantastic. It was fantastically put together.
It had me dying, dude, and to see Willow back, like one of Jeff's actual good gimmicks.
Oh yeah,
I was pumped for it. The whole thing, like him on the couch was just, it was too much. It was or him in the short film.
Yeah, that was funny. The short film was funny.
He gets the emo dress, the gothic. If people do not respect Ryan Nemeth, shame on you. Shame on you. Because I love Ryan.
It took a while for him to kind of understand him, though. But now it's kind of funny though how Nick is basically, so obviously them being World Tag Team Champions, that's going to be an interesting run between Ryan and Nick, and how how all that plays out. But that was the only. But I will say though, Masha did retain over Tessa, so no change there.
Come on, Ethan Page. Come on, Ethan Page.
Well, Joe pulled it out.
Son of a.
And actually, Ethan took the.
Of course,
Ethan took the pain after taking the standing ovation. But interesting enough, though, there are two interesting things. I'm going to keep on this one, but after the match, who had texted Joe Hendry, Trick Williams.
Ooh.
So Trick attacked Joe Hendry.
Ooh.
Because Joe Hendry wants a shot at kind of Iono Bafemi's title. And I think Trick doesn't like that because he's like, no, Oba's mine, so back off. So
Oh, Moose won the X Division match, Ultimate X match.
yeah, so
Yeah, I'm looking at the results now. Sorry.
no, you're good. But no, guess who crossed the line tonight and who signed?
A 6-man system.
No. Somebody was sitting in the crowd and
What?
they announced they crossed the line with TNA, and that is Indy Hartwell, who's going to be on TNA now.
Well, that makes me happy. That makes me happy a lot, actually. Oh, dude, I hope she joins like Mustafa.
Oh, yeah, I don't know, but I mean, Indy Hartwell's looking fine and healthy as ever, and she's gonna be. And it's kind of ironic because she got let go from WWE while she was in NXT. No, she just moved up to SmackDown. She got let go, and
Yeah.
now TNA's picked her back up, and now TNA and WWE are in this working agreement. It just seems kind of. It seems kind of odd, how WWE's let some of these stars go, but then they're like with Nick Nemeth, he's
I
thriving
think it was done
in.
on purpose.
Yeah, yeah, you think so, right? Um, because
Yeah.
we're all going eventually going to be working for Tony Khan, right? Um, it's just in a plan, TKO. Um, but no, I will say though that be interesting to see how Indy Hartwell fares in the knockouts division. Does she align with somebody? Does she just? I mean, she seems like she was on a face. She gave off that face energy, so I don't see her going after Masha. So it's gonna be interesting to see how she turns out. And yeah, but I'm gonna try to watch the entire pay per view again. Like I said, I had it streaming. I found a way to get it streamed, and I was looking tonight. But yeah, and that false count anywhere match that was a banger. So like I said, that yeah, there was a lot of good stuff. There were some kind of spots that were kind of that were kind of like that kind of got messed up. And like that's like you guys slipped, so it's like it is what it is. Um, but yeah, bro. Yeah, next
My computer
next week
locked up.
we'll touch up on the follow ups from Raw and SmackDown. See if there's anything regarding the draft. Definitely look at more with TNA. Um, and of course with NXT as well, because there's always something happening between TNA and NXT. So we still didn't have that crossover win, bro. We didn't have that crossover win. Uh, okay. So apparently Z went offline. So I don't know what I don't know what happened. Uh, so bear with me for a moment here. So apparently Z's feed went offline. And hopefully he'll be able to jump right back on. So let me see, making sure he's able to come back on. So anyway, but for those who are watching tonight, once again, um,
Boom! I'm back.
hey, that's not cool, bro. What did you do that for?
I didn't mean to. My computer's like, eh.
Oh,
My
well,
computer told me, eh. No, we're done. No.
oh man, don't tell me that. Need you to have a computer, bro.
I mean, I still do. I'm here on the computer. I just had to like log off and log back in.
Oh man, yeah. Well, uh, well, like I said, like I was stating before, well, shoot, before we wrap things up, you had some.
Oh, yes. Yes. So, due to my love of action figures, sometimes my friends hit me up with Lucy's that either they find in their house or they find at garage sales or stuff. So I got a bunch of Lucy's thanks to Austin Evans, one of my buddies, Ajax, if you watch us or everything. For one, I got a Kofi, finally. I haven't had a Kofi, so that's cool. And the Lucy's. I got the Icon himself, old Stinger.
Nice.
Okay. I got Big Braun Strowman now.
Nice.
This guy's actually really sick fig. Better than Chase's.
Dude, that looks thick.
Oh, dude, he's not as big as like Mark Henry. The cool, like I said earlier in the chat, like their size comparisons are cool, like because they're of size, like they're scaled to size in figs. And then I go to old AJ Styles, which I'm pretty pumped on.
That's
okay.
Cool.
But now these are the ones that I actually picked up for myself. I found it, Ruby. I found it. Cody Rhodes in the dashing with the mask.
Oh.
Yeah. I was pretty happy to find this one. It's got a ding box, but that's all right. And then the last but not least, this is more so for my wife than me because this is one of her favorite wrestlers. She likes his abs. But we got this really sick Judgment Day Finn Balor.
Nice.
So,
okay. Has he got multiple heads?
Yeah, they come with different heads with like facial features and stuff, some of them. It's the Ultimate Series. It's for people like... And this is something you and I have talked about. Ethan Page used to do it. He posed by Page or something like that, where he would set up his figs in certain situations and do pictures and photo shoots of them. So that's for guys that do that kind of stuff, do fig photography and whatnot, which is something that I've actually been contemplating doing, but because of you saying that I should.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you got some good ideas on how they should be posed in like different, like in different scenes and all that. Your scenes sound funny, so I'm like, yeah, go ahead and do it. It sounds funny.
I could do like do this AJ cheering about his fish.
Yay! Congrats!
That'd be hilarious.
Oh man,
38 years old and I'm still playing with action figures.
There's people out there that are older that are doing the same. So,
don't let your children. Don't ever. Anyone that's listening to this, don't let your childhood die. Just don't. If they tell you you're too old to watch cartoons, tell them to go fly a kite, and use the one with a key on it too, and preferably in a thunderstorm. Be you guys. But no, that's all I have. I have just a couple figs.
Did you happen to know that? And I have to research this, but they're saying that there's like a fact or fiction that I heard that it is actually true, that it's fact, that a bolt of lightning is actually hotter than the sun.
Okay.
I got it.
I'm not testing. How does I'm not going to go test that theory.
Go out and measure one, will you? And then go to the sun and measure the temperature.
Get right on that, dude.
Yeah, I'm so on that.
I mean, I bet. I mean, it is pure plasma at that point when it's lightning, isn't it?
And I also know that the average velocity when you sneeze, the air comes out of your nose. The average speed is at 50 miles an hour. I'm like, who is doing this crap? I think I got an analogy. I'm going to put a radar gun up my nose and see how fast my sneeze comes out.
They do it by velocity. They put a board up with lines. My guy.
AWS totally sponsors this freaking experiment.
Shit.
Powered by AWS. Your sneeze was weak. Oh my god!
Well, it was great to talk to Dean Mercer.
Yeah, it was.
That was fun. Go watch his stuff. Great wrestler.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So I mean, he's got some really good stuff, guys. Go and watch him. And in fact, you need to kind of once again send me that match he had with.
I will. I'll send
him
it to you
Johnny,
here in a little bit.
Because I want to see some meat smacking. I mean, with clotheslines and all that. That's what I want to see. So. Oh my God! I've had short sleep and it's starting to show.
That was funny. that was funny.
Guys, make sure you're following and subscribing to everything that we've got going on. We are very close to 1,000 followers on Facebook, and as far as like the likes are, we are still shy of that, but we're definitely campaigning to see what we can do here. Do us a favor, make sure you're liking us on X, Twitch, and YouTube. Make sure you're subscribing to YouTube as well. Pretty sure we got over. I haven't, this is pretty sad that I've not paid attention, but I'm sure we got at least over 100 subscribers on YouTube.
147 now.
Okay, 147. Okay, so there we go. Oh man. Hey, maybe we'll eventually hit milestone markers before we decide to hang them up. There we go. I just got that. So, Johnny crashed. Oh my goodness, that's gonna be something else. Those guys look like they're gonna kick each other's ass for real.
They do. It's great. It's good.
Oh my God. All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what. I just make sure I get my audio levels here. We're gonna be signing off for now, but making sure that we will be back next week. As soon as we know the confirmation of our guest for next week, we will let you know on Facebook. Of course, we make our announcements on Facebook and X. For that. And then, of course, Mother's Day, the Mother's Day evening, we will have Herb Simmons here talking over the SICW FanFest 3 and what we got going on there. So we'll be having him on and talking about all of that. And then, of course, that it's all going to lead up to our simulcast on Saturday, May 17th. I expect a lot of bantering chaos on that day. So
it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
I still kind of wonder where the heck GQ is in all this. So he wasn't around WrestleMania week, and I'm like, are you going to show up on the FanFest?
Well, I would like to see GQ pop up more than he does.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So with that being said, guys, we are going to go ahead and call it an evening, and get rest up here to get ready for the week. Make sure once again to follow everything that we do. Z's got IEW.
Yep.
Saturday. Yep. I got ACW Saturday. And we'll be back next week to talk about that. And also with our featured guest that we will have announced, I guess, by Thursday. No, usually Friday we do that. So until then, guys, we thank you very much for joining us. And we will see you next Sunday night, 9 p.m. Central. You guys have a good week coming up. Enjoy the rest of your April. Stay dry. Keeps raining over here.
You can always catch us at Zmiz's Cancel Gaming too, to get a different side of us.
Oh yeah, where I lose my shit and I lose races. Love it.
You do lose your shit a lot.
At least I'm not disturbed and I quit after one off. Shots fired.
I love it.